Welcome. I'm Steph, an intuitive hypnotist from Quebec, Canada.
I'm Julie, a past life regression hypnotist and Reiki healer from Wisconsin.
And together, we are the Soulful Mystics. How amazing was the Soul Synastry reading with Meredith?
It was super cool, and I love how she described our signs make a full moon.
So my moon sign is a Sagittarius, your sun sign is a Gemini, and those are sister signs. Don't know how, but I know that together we make a full moon.
Yeah. There's so many things that both of us, we already knew.
Yeah.
But I mean, some things we didn't, about how most of our karma is cleared. Our podcast name was written in the stars because Neptune is mysticism and Pluto means transformation and soul.
Yes, we weren't surprised that we had many past lives together.
Yes.
It wasn't a shock, but it was also very validating. And
yeah, I think that's the thing, like how validating it was for like what we already knew.
exactly. And she kept saying seeker throughout the
Oh,
entire
yeah.
thing, which is your business name.
That's
Soul
true.
Seeker.
Yeah. I feel like mine was given to me by my spirit guide, like actually 3 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna start a blog and YouTube channel. That was part of the name, and then I just never, I don't know, it just wasn't right. This isn't gonna be it for me.
That's so funny because we never talked about this, but I also tried to start a YouTube channel.
Really?
Yes. And
Oh my God.
I couldn't because I had so much trouble talking to myself.
Yes, me too.
And one thing she said, Juno showing that our partnership helps us process information and that we're going to
Yeah.
help each other become better speakers while we gain confidence in speaking publicly or allowing other people to hear and see us.
Right.
Which makes a lot of sense that we couldn't follow through with starting something on our own. But as soon as we met in July or August, 6 months later, we're starting a podcast and we've found our voices and found that confidence to share our stories. And I think that that is really special.
Yeah. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. But is it surprising?
No, it's not. Yeah. Also, the Chiron being activated in our charts the first time we spoke.
Yeah.
And her saying that we are wounded healers. And just for anyone who doesn't know about Chiron, I found this explanation on Google. He's a comet with a unique erratic orbit. In the natal chart, Chiron is symbolized by the wounded healer, and it represents our deepest wound and our efforts to heal the wound. Throughout the reading, she kept saying that we were wounded healers and we're going to bring consciousness to our own underlying wounds and help each other heal them. And I resonated with everything she said. One of the first things that stood out to me was that we're medicine for each other.
Yes.
And I know that I've been feeling that because
Yeah.
since we started talking, the amount of healing that I've done has been huge. And so far, I think that you've done that for sure for me, like helped me get over the self-doubt and criticism that I experience quite frequently.
Yeah, but you do the same for me too.
Yeah, we have the same kind of wounds, and I have trouble helping myself because I'm so hard on myself. And same thing with you, that
Right.
it makes it so much easier that we can help each other through it. You know, hopefully we get to a point where we don't need the validation, but for now,
Yeah.
it's what I needed.
Yeah, and that we usually feel the same way at the same time about
Yeah,
the same things.
exactly.
I remember when I had my reading with her back in November, she actually told me that one of my purposes in this life is to embody the energy of Chiron. And so I still need to learn exactly what that means.
Yeah, I think that everything that we've been through in our lives, we learn from those traumas and those things that have happened to us or for us, however you want to see it. And if we share those stories, we are sharing our vulnerabilities, which is going to help other people who have been through similar things move through it themselves, which I think is a good example of how I see the wounded healer.
Yeah.
And embracing that, because sometimes we try to hide our wounds. And I mean, I've been
Mhm.
hiding them for a long time. So coming onto a podcast and sharing them with whoever wants to listen is something that's
Mm,
unique that I didn't think I would be able to do in my lifetime. But just like Meredith said, as soon as we met, I felt so much more confident expressing myself and my truth and my story.
I love that. It's so true, though. One thing I wrote down and I underlined is that we are here to support each other's voices. And I love that too,
Yeah,
because it's like we've done that ever since the very beginning.
for sure. And when I lost my voice, you and the other women in the group have just really shown me a lot of patience and understanding when it comes to that and offered a lot of support and advice on how I can be a hypnotist and still have trouble with my physical voice. I haven't lost it since, even though I lost it quite a bit that year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, throughout the training, there was numerous times it seemed
Oh, yeah.
when you had lost it. Yeah. But you're right. Like since then, I mean, when I've talked to you, like it's been fine. You haven't had the issue.
Honestly, since we met, I haven't had the issue.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so when she started talking about Mercury and Pluto, which showed up a lot in our charts, which told her that we've been killed a lot for speaking our truth and
Yes.
that we both have a lot of throat chakra issues. And I feel like my throat chakra issues have always been present and they just kind of manifested in different ways depending on what I was going through in life. So I right now speaking my truth and believing that my words matter is now my struggle. So I've moved from not speaking up at all to speaking up for other people. And now I'm working on believing that my words matter. And what she did say was that both of our Mercuries is in each other's career chart.
The
And
10th house.
yeah. And so that means that getting our voices out into the public stage together is in the cards for us and that we're going to be game changers, I think is what she said, who's going to
Mhm.
spread our light together, which will cause a ripple effect for the collective. And here we are starting a podcast. So,
Yay! Well, and also too, Mercury being communication, with Mercury being in the 10th house, which is career, and we're both in hypnosis,
yeah,
which is communicating.
yeah,
Obviously, we did something right. We're on the right path.
yep, I agree. And spreading our light together in our future episode where we talk about past life and reincarnation, I asked what kind of joke our past lives were playing on us that made us live one in Canada and one in US
Yeah.
so far away from each other, and you said that it'll help us spread our light to even more people, have a bigger ground to cover. And I thought that that was really special, and that's something that came up in the Soul Synastry as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the synchronicities are just
You can't make it up.
unbelievable. Yeah, it's amazing. And there were so many times throughout the reading where we all got the goosebumps.
Yeah. I had the goosebumps. It started to hurt by the end
Yeah.
of the reading, just like from head to toe, goosebumps. Yeah, and our soul contract being in Aries. So that stuck out to me because she said that we're on a hero's journey.
Ah, yes.
That is in our eighth house. So the house of Scorpio and Pluto. And she mentioned that we're going to talk about uncomfortable, taboo topics while bringing love and light to these topics as we discuss them. So, in future episodes, we're going to talk about dealing with death and dying, near death experiences, which is Pluto and Scorpio energy. We're going to talk about entities, our opinions on mental health and its relation to past lives, and serial killers and past lives and reincarnation, and our thoughts and opinions on that. So, I do feel like we had a lot on the list that resonates with Scorpio and Pluto energy, but on
I
it,
would say so.
we do have a lot of other topics that are
Yeah.
more comfortable and fun. So it's just when she said that, I felt more confidence talking about these subjects because they were kind of in the back of my mind. Maybe people aren't interested in that, or maybe people aren't ready for that. But when she said that we will be game changers in this field of discussion and that we do have to talk about these things.
I would agree. Yeah, obviously, we're not going to be for everyone, but I do believe that, well, everything is divinely guided. So I believe that the right people are going to find us. The people
Yes,
who need to hear our message, they're going to find us.
exactly. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, that's really our whole intention behind the podcast is just to be able to provide validation for people who are going through things that we've experienced and just be relatable to them. And also to be curious and open minded about things, even things that make us uncomfortable. Just because we're talking about these taboo topics doesn't necessarily mean that we're comfortable with all of them. So
No.
I think part of it too is we're stepping outside of our comfort zone because that's how you grow. And anyone who wants to grow along with us is more than welcome.
Yeah. If we can just open up a perception to release that fear of any kind, any fear or resistance that you're having, then I think that that's worth it because I
Hmm.
know that I needed that in my life when I found past lives in the divine, and she gave me exactly what I needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you did mention briefly the skip step.
Yeah.
We have
So
one.
only one. Isn't that amazing?
It is. Yeah. I'd be curious to do this with my partner Max to see how many skip steps we
Oh
have.
my gosh. I know. I want to do it with Jason too.
Honestly, this Soul Synastry reading gave me so many more ideas of things to explore in a past life regression. It brought up a lot of curiosity.
Yes, exactly. And that is the beauty of being able to do a past life regression is to go and find the root cause of these issues and acknowledge it and release it and let it go and heal it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that we can help each other through that.
Yeah. And also, the other things we have to explore, which we will post on the podcast for anyone who's interested, is she said that we've witnessed each other be murdered in many different ways.
Oh, yes.
And we've been through a lot of crazy trauma together. So I think she mentioned beheadings, being burned, a lot of the witch wound stuff together.
Hmm.
And we both knew that we have individually been through all this stuff. But it was interesting to hear or get validation that we were together in it because I had a past life regression and I saw my partner Max as a girl and we were deemed as witches. I don't think that we considered ourselves that, but we were healers and we had gifts. And so we were really stuck on this property that we couldn't go into town and we didn't get to see any of the other people around. So me and this girl, who was my partner Max, became lovers. We had no idea what a man was because we've never been into the city. And
Wow.
that image came up because she kept getting visions to go into town to rescue or heal a young boy who was very important in the spiritual world and changes that needed to be made in society. And so she went and I went with her and I saw her get murdered. And that trauma has really stuck with me. And I think that when she said that, I knew that we've witnessed each other be murdered like this before in past lives. And
Yeah.
and that really it holds a lot because I feel really protective over you, even though we've never met in person. So
Dude, same. Like the other day when you didn't text me back, and I was like, oh
yeah.
my God, is Steph okay? I was so worried about you.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was such a weird day. I had a really bad day at work. And
Oh,
first of all, it was the full moon of Leo. And I'm a Leo rising. I don't know if that makes a difference, but this day was just the worst day that I've had it in a
no.
long time. But I think just because of the frustrations of the whole day and the energy that I was feeling from everyone else coming in, I just didn't put up my protective barriers like I usually do. I just kind of let it all in for some reason. And then the next day, I pretended that nothing happened to see if I can just kind of push it down. And then Monday, I was like, no, you know what? I need to feel the feels and let this out. And I didn't look at my phone once that day.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't actually see that you had messaged me on Monday until you had asked me Tuesday, are you okay? So my
Yeah.
apologies.
So I have to say, you got me back.
Yeah.
From remember, you always talk about
Yeah,
me not
that first
messaging
day.
you.
I mean, you took
We're
3
even.
days. You took 3 days to write back to me that one time. So,
Yeah, but I didn't know you then.
yeah, no, that's true. That's fair. But yeah, it's really funny how we can develop such strong connections. And the reason why we got this reading done is because we had such a strong connection right from the beginning. With you, it just felt so natural. And it's not, it doesn't take energy. It gives me energy to talk to you, to
Oh
hang
my
out.
God. Yes, I feel that too. That is awesome. Even like I know there's been times where we've made plans to, do a recording or something and neither of us are feeling it and so we cancel it or whatever. But there's also been times where it was like, oh yeah, I don't know if I really feel like doing this, but then I get on the phone with you and it's like, oh yeah, I'm glad we did this.
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to start this conversation by saying, Julie, what brought you joy today, like Meredith suggested? And then I completely forgot.
Oh,
So she said that
yeah.
you're going to be that grounding force for us. But I wanted to start it off by thanking you for being the anchor to my boat, as she described.
Aw.
And what brought you joy today?
You did. Seriously, with that animal communication reading you did for me,
Okay.
that brought me so much joy, and I'm so grateful.
And that's it for today's episode. Until next time, stay curious.